All right, everybody, welcome to 29 Ways to Attract Listings, powered by Trident Title, Performance Title, Synergy Title, and myself at Apex Training. So now that things are kind of starting to get back towards normality here, we want to really start to push on listings. Summer selling season here is started a little bit late, but it is certainly hot. We are seeing a lot of people that if they're putting listings on the market, they are getting multiple offers and they're getting sold within a couple of days as long as they're priced decently. So today my goal is to help you understand 29 different ways to get listings. I guarantee that some of you have heard of them, and I guarantee some of you have not thought of some of the ones that we're going to talk about. I know that when you go to some of these classes or you take some of my trainings, you get a lot of great stuff out of it, but you don't know where to begin. So what my goal is today is I want you to just leave with one, and I'm going to give you 29 options so that it's not easy to pick one, but when you do get to pick one, that's something that you can put in action right away. So I hope you have either a notepad or something to write some stuff down. I'm even going to give you guys some scripts that we've used over the years today as well. So as always, this wouldn't be possible without Trident Title, Performance Title and Escrow, and Synergy Title. So those of you that are already sending us deals, we appreciate it. Keep them coming. We had a fantastic May thanks to you guys. And those of you that for whatever reason have not sent us a deal yet, I do know that it's coming. I'm confident that you believe in the win-win like I do. So if you haven't sent us a deal yet and you're learning something from these trainings, please shoot one over to one of the fabulous people on the call, Gabrielle Bryce, Dave Ward, Tracy Sender, Melissa Kidwell, or myself. And if there's anything we can do for you, or if we can hop on a one-on-one to help you with one of these strategies that's going to help us get some deals and help you get some deals, we would love to do that as well. So most of you guys by now I know, but a little bit about me. I've been in real estate now. July is going to be 10 years for me. Licensed in New Jersey and Florida. I've been a single agent, been a part of the largest team in the state, selling over 400 houses a year, over $90 million in volume every year. Was a team leader and a recruiter. Did over 2,000 agent appointments, recruited over 500 real estate agents. And now I am continuing to add value to you guys and train you guys and help you guys sell more houses in exchange for your title deals. So the only way I get to keep doing this is if you guys keep sending us deals. So we surely appreciate that. A little bit about Apex Training. We founded this a little bit before the pandemic with the sole goal of helping give back to our agents, those that give us value and those that send us deals. We want to help you as much as we possibly can, educate you, help you get more deals, because we know that if you get more deals, naturally we're going to get more deals. So we will keep these coming as long as you guys keep pumping in the deals. Let us dive in to 29 ways to attract listings. So here we go. So why do we want listings, right? Everybody always wants listings. And there's a couple of key reasons that I want to touch on before we dive into 29. And I really want to get you motivated for listings because they are the most important thing right now. And they add a lot of value to our business. So number one, listings equal leverage. A good buyer's agent, if you're really rocking and rolling, you have your systems amazing and set up so well, there's only so much time in the day, but a really great buyer's agent can handle usually about 8 transactions per month and maybe still have a small glimmer of a chance for life. However, a good listing agent can easily handle 25, 30, 40, 50 listings all at one time as long as they have their systems in place, something that's just impossible to do as a buyer's agent. So listings give you leverage. So that's number one. Listings are easier than buyers to scale. It's much easier to be able to take 20, 30, 40, 50 listings at a time than to do that same thing with buyers. When you really get your systems down with listings, really all you have to do is some prospecting, some lead generation. Then we're going to actually go on the appointment. Then we do the 3 Ps, right? We put it in the MLS, we put a sign in the yard, and we pray somebody else sells it. Much easier to do that with listings than with buyers. Another good thing is they bring the buyers. So it allows us to generate buyer leads just because we have listing leads. So anytime that we have listings or listing leads, we're naturally going to get more buyers. So that's definitely a plus. They help you grow a team. If you're pouring in those listings and that in turn is bringing you in tons and tons of buyer leads, very easy to be able to hire a buyer's agent. One of the things that buyer's agents always look for on top of culture and structure and training and systems is leads. They want to know if I come to this team and I go work with this person, are they going to be able to fill me with enough business that makes it worth giving up roughly 50% of my commission? Next is they lead to a higher quality of life. If you have a bunch of listings, you can manage them from a beach anywhere. Wherever Renee Hassek's picture was, you could be there managing all of your different listings. While you really can't do that with buyers because you got to be in the car and get boots on the ground to go show those. And of course, you got to list to last. Kind of the old alma mater here is that you have to be in this business and you have to be listing to last. The listing agents stay around, buyer's agents come and go, especially as the economy goes up and down. And it really allows you to control the inventory, which is the most important thing. A lot of the agents that panicked and had a real struggle through COVID was because they didn't have listings. The agents that already had listings, already had virtual tours, all these things done, they were still able to sell. They were still able to operate and run their business almost unchanged throughout this because they could do everything virtually. And they had the inventory. And when you have the inventory, that really gives you the opportunity to get paid. So that was definitely a plus. If you're unmuted, please just do me a favor and mute yourself as you come on, guys, just so that we don't get any feedback or anything messing up on the video. All right. And of course, because we want more deals, we know if we help you guys get listings in turn, you're going to give them back to us, and Trident Title, Performance Title, and Synergy Title are going to serve them. We got a couple in from you guys that are on the call already this morning, actually, so we surely appreciate that. So let's dive in. 29. So number one, leverage buyers who need to sell. The best sellers are buyers, right? When they find a house that they want, and they understand that they need to move, whether it's upsizing or downsizing or doing something else, they understand really quickly that they are going to need to sell their house in order to buy. And that really instantly creates urgency, right? Because when they see their dream home or the house that they like, instantly they realize, oh my God, we have to sell our house to be able to buy. So one spot to look for sellers is by drumming up enough buyer leads and really working the buyer business. So that's number one. Number two, of all the 29, I think this one actually is my favorite. I'm not sure if Hadar's on the call or Lourdes, her assistant, but this I call the wanted ad. Boriellos are on here too. They've done this, and a couple of you guys have suggested this too, and actually worked on customizing these with you on. And I think this is a really fantastic idea. So here's what I mean by the wanted ad. So let's just say you have a buyer and you've seen everything on the MLS with them, and they're looking for a 4-bed, 3-bathroom house under 500,000 in Wellington, and they want to be an XYZ community, and they want a pool, and they want a lake view. And that doesn't exist, right? It's not on the market. We cannot find that anywhere on the market. There's nothing on the MLS. We've posted in all the forums. We've asked all of our network of agents. We've gone to our office meetings. We've asked all of our friends, and none of them have anything. None of them have coming up. None of them have coming soon. So here's where the wanted ad comes in place. We create a wanted ad. This little template that I put on here, you can grab right off clip art. It's actually free, and you can use it. You can do way better than this, or we could create one for you, but you definitely can just grab this right off the internet. And what you put on there is a great picture of your buyers, their family, them and the dog, them and the kids, just them, whatever. You get a great picture. And you put a picture of this person that you're helping looking for. And then you're going to list out what it is that you're actually looking for. So a 3-bed, 2-bath, whatever my example was, with a pool on the lake, certain price point in Wellington. And not only do we blast this out to our network, but we go either door knocking or individually go to these houses that we know fit. Now, this involves a lot of work, and you're really going to work for your commission here, but there's a really great chance that you're going to actually double-side the deal. So what Hadar did, who's an agent in Wellington, is she had a buyer that was looking for a certain house. I think it was up to about $750,000 in a certain neighborhood. And she found out by the tax records, she looked at every single house in there, and she found out via the tax records in IMAP on the MLS that there were only 4 houses in that entire neighborhood that fit the description of what her buyers need. And she created this little wanted ad, put it inside of a handwritten note, and she went and door knocked on all 4 of these doors. Now, none of them answered that first time. However, she did do a little leave behind, and she left it there. And then later that month, she got a call from that person saying, hey, if the price is right, we don't have to show it, and we can work out a good deal on commission, and we can use title, then there's a great chance that we can maybe get this deal done. She brings her buyers over there, and bam, double sides a $700-something house, generates a $40-something commission just by doing this wanted ad. So if you're not doing the wanted ad yet, this should be done for every single buyer that you have in your pipeline. Shows your buyers that you're going above and beyond to help them. And it shows the sellers that you're really working. And there's nothing better than those double-sided deals when they don't have to clean the house, they don't have to stage, they don't have to show, you don't have to put a lockbox on. Nice and easy deal, and a fun piece of marketing that you can play with. You can also throw this in your newsletter. So I saw Vinny and Melissa jumped on here. We've been working on a newsletter that they send out. And every month they send this out, and the bottom third of their newsletter has a wanted ad. And they put this wanted ad on for whoever it is that they're looking for that month. Whoever their top prospect is that month gets featured in the newsletter, and it gets blasted out to everyone they know on their social media, on their website, on their blog, on a video, and everyone in their email database. So if you're not doing the wanted ad, again, probably my favorite one of what we're going to cover today. Number 3, door knocking. And the reason I put all those stickies on is because that's a thing that people forget when they go door knocking. They don't bring a leave behind or a quick note or something to really get the homeowner's attention. Imagine going door knocking and no one's there, but you leave a little note. And on that note, all it says, it has your business card either stapled to it or sticky to it. And it just says, hey, I have a quick question about your house. Call me, 561-123-4567-8. And you leave it, preferably just one. But if you want to put a whole smiley face and a Santa hat on it, you can do that, just like in the image as well. Next, agent referrals. So people that have different referral platforms, whether you're with Keller Williams, Douglas Elliman, Remax, or you just use Forbes, there's a migration map that you can find online. And there's a really great site that I like to use. It's called howmoneymoves.com. And all of these different tools, they allow you to understand where money is moving to and where money is moving from. So in Palm Beach County here, where we are, some of you I know are in Broward, some of you are Martin, St. Lucie, but in the South Florida area, basically the Tri-County area down here, we have a lot of people incoming always from the Northeast, the Midwest. There's a lot of places that are very popular for the moves here. So what you can do, instead of just waiting and hoping that that referral comes, is we can jump on offense. And we can look at these migration maps and we can look at money moves and see where the money comes here from. And then we can play offense and we can get up there and find all the different agents that are working with sellers. You can do that through things like Zillow or Trulia or Realtor.com, or just calling whatever branch or office or company that you work for. They might have a connection up there or someone that they work with, maybe even a relo kind of department or company. Get in touch with anybody that's up there in that area and be their referral person of choice down in this area. Every day, every week, every month, every year, we know tons of people are moving from all these different places, and it's our job to figure out who's sending them there, because a lot of times the agents up there don't know the agents down here, and most of us are missing out on those easy referrals that, yes, we have to pay, somewhere between 20 and 40% of, but it's a slam dunk deal. Their house was sold up there. They have to move down here. They're going to be homeless. So easy connections through agent referrals. Something I would challenge you guys to do is look at some of those maps and find maybe the top 10 cities that people are moving from, and get at least one agent in each of those cities that you have connected with via Facebook, social media, your database, your website, your email blasts, and make sure that you're talking to them and communicating with them regularly so that when the time does come that they hear someone that's moving south, you can get with them. Next, downsizing clients. What if we held some kind of a seminar, either at an assisted living facility, a senior citizen home, maybe even a 55 plus community where people are downsizing or moving out or moving on to whatever their next destination is going to be, and did a seminar that helps them with downsizing, right? You could get a title person, you could get a mortgage person, you could get maybe someone that does decluttering and moving and organizing and things like that, a financial advisor, and did a seminar that helps people downsize. If you don't know this, the top age group on Facebook right now is 55 plus. So running a simple Facebook ad that you're doing a downsizing seminar would be something very easy to do and would definitely get attendance. You could even do it virtually if you're still worried about going out. You could do it virtually or via Zoom or things like that. So downsizing clients are happening every single day. A lot of people are downsizing and coming to Florida, or then they get down here. And after they go through maybe their kids being in the house or the empty nest period or retirement, they're going to downsize. So we need to look into and build a strategic plan on how we are going to downsize, what that's going to look like, and how we can scale it so that we can have listings pouring in from that direction. Next, the opposite, upgrading clients, right? Here's where we want to use things like LinkedIn and social media to really take advantage. So anytime you see that someone gets engaged, anytime you see that someone's having a baby, gets a new job, relocates, gets a promotion, gets a raise, hits the lottery, comes into a chunk of money, inheritance, something like that, this is our opportunity to find them and help them upgrade. There's a good chance that over the last couple of years, if they bought, they have some equity, right? So they might be able to take that equity, put something down, and because rates are lower now and they might have better income, they might be able to qualify to move up in a housing payment or in a housing situation for the same payment. And it's our job to get there. So same thing, we can do some kind of a seminar, some kind of a workshop on this to help people that are moving from either apartments or condos or rentals, or maybe all of the small, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom houses and multifamily properties, and they're looking to move up into their next stage. So really pay attention. When you see that Joe and Betty Smith are getting engaged or getting married, yes, we of course want to, reach out to them and congratulate them on that. But there's some logical steps here that usually happen when people are getting married or having kids, right? It's either they're going to get married plan a wedding, have a kid, and then buy a house, or they're going to most likely plan the wedding, buy a house after that, come back to a house, things like that. So think about the triggers and the things that set off home ownership and what we can do to target them pretty regularly. And marriage and babies and things like that are always popular ones. Next, your past clients. Now, this sounds obvious, right? Because we all focus on our database, but what I really want you to target on and think about is people that bought in, let's say, the last 10 years, right? So we know 2008-ish was pretty much the bottom of the bottom. And the people that bought from 2010 onward, they have two things that are definitely in common right now. Number one is they have equity, right? If they bought in 2010, their house is worth more now. There's no guessing really in that. It's just pretty much the math. There's almost nothing in South Florida that's not worth more than it was 10 years ago right now. And number two is pretty much can guarantee that the rate is better now, right? We've locked some people in on refis in the low 2s and on purchases in the high 2s and the low 3s over the last 60 days. And that was not happening in 2008, right? We were somewhere between the low 4s and even up into 6 for, subprime and not that great of loans. So think about reaching out for these past clients, not only because, life situation has changed in 10 years, careers have advanced, families have grown or shrunk, people have moved in or moved out, but also just from a straight up equity standpoint, there's a really great chance now that they can move up or move down, pull out some of that equity if they want, if they're worried about the economy and the election and the virus and the riots and all the unbelievable things that are going on. Or it might just make sense for them to realize that equity now and get in the game here. So think about your past clients more than just a check-in. But what I would do is every buyer that you did a deal, if you did a deal in the last 10 years on the buyer side, I would run a CMA for them now without telling them. I wouldn't call and ask them if they're interested. I would do one. I would just run a CMA, build one out, and summarize it and put it in a little handwritten note, and then follow it up with a call and just say, hey, I know we bought you your house at 123 Main Street for $250. Great news. It's worth $350 now. And when I look back on the tax records, I looked at what you locked your rate in at, and you have a conventional loan at 4.25. There's a great opportunity right now to refi, which on the title side we can help you with, or there's a great opportunity right now to realize some of that equity, sell at the top while the market's high, get some of that equity out if you just want to move out, or sell and move up or move down and enjoy a new rate and a different property. So follow up with these past clients, get in front of them. It's a great time for care calls anyway now with the world being so crazy the last 3-4 months. So might as well drum up and push for some business while you're doing that as well. Next, rental owners. And I want to think of this in two parts. This graphic is all of the top vacation rental sites, and they are hurting right now. Some of them are in some serious pain. A lot of people bought these properties on a ton of leverage, even some of them illegally, right? Bought them FHA or 5% down or way below what they should have done to actually be able to do an investment property, and they're starving right now. There's been months of vacancy where they haven't been able to have an opportunity to rent some of these, and a lot of them were over leveraged as it is anyway. So think about this now. Go on Airbnb, look at the ones that have been sitting empty, and find out if that's an opportunity to sell. A lot of these houses, they're going to need to liquidate now, and before they get to the point of short sale or foreclosure, because they sit months on months on months on months empty, get in there and be their agent. There's lots of properties right now. I was just exploring Airbnb the other day a little bit, just to kind of get an idea. And there's properties that used to be $200, $300, and $400 a night that are now at $50 a night, just trying to get people in and get some cash flow coming in. Those people are definitely hurting. And being able to reach out and talk to these short-term and vacation rental owners right now is going to be a really profitable venture. I also want you to think about annual rentals, right? So annual rentals have been affected a little bit. In the last 90 days, if someone's lease was up and they did move out, there's a really good chance that that property is still vacant. I would hop on the MLS and find any property that has either expired as a rental over the last period of time, or maybe that's been on the market for a long time, and target them and know that eventually these people are going to need to sell. Usually there's somewhere around 100 expireds every day. And we've been in this lockdown mode for what? I guess we're coming up on 3 months now, right? So there's definitely opportunity hiding with these rental owners that are struggling. And some of them are realizing, look, the times to get out is right now. And while we feel prices are still high, we need to get out. We don't know what prices are going to do with the election and with everything else going on. So a lot of these people are looking to cash out and get out now, or cut their losses and realize that the vacation rental game wasn't what they wanted to be in. So definitely reach out, hit all these rental owners, annual and vacation, and look for some opportunity there because it is out there. I'm seeing more and more of them pop up on the MLS that were very obviously vacation rentals. Sometimes they even say it in the description. Next is your absentee owners, right? The people that live either in another house or even in another county or another town or another state. A lot of people have had financial situations drastically changed over the last 90 days. And it might not be in the cards to have that vacation house or that second home or that condo on the beach or that place that they rent out seasonally for 2 or 3 months and then it sits vacant the rest of the year. So get a list of absentee owners. There's some websites out there that you can buy these from, or you can even look it up really in the tax records or in IMAP and start attacking some of these. There's some great opportunities here. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of misfortune and some bad things that have happened in the last little while, but you have to come from a spot of helping, and you have the ability to get on and help these people get out of a tough situation. As all of you know, prices in Palm Beach County are holding steady right now, and inventory is ridiculously low, and things are selling. So for some of these people, the absentee owners, the opportunity to get out is right now, and who better to help them than all, whatever, 80 of us that are on the call. Next, expireds. We've talked about expireds forever, and I know this one you've all heard, and most of us don't want to do it, myself included, right? I'm not the first one in line to jump up and get in line to cold call 100 expireds a day at 7 in the morning. But it really is time to revisit this, right? The number of people calling expireds over the last 90 days is way down, and those numbers are still really low. So what I want you to think about is how can you engage in these expireds? Maybe it's time to do it in a different way. Maybe it's time to door knock or to leave them a sticky or to give them a call or write them a handwritten note and see what we can do to get in front of them. One thing we know about expireds is they've already raised their hand and they wanted to sell, right? They just failed. They were playing the game and they lost, or they were playing the game and they failed. So that objection is out of the way. And they've also already agreed to work with a realtor, right? If we see that it's expired online, they've obviously already agreed to work with a realtor. It's time to just make them understand that you are that correct one and get them back to that motivation. So a lot of people have lost that motivation or changed motivation based on what's happened over the last 90 days or so. However, that's one of the questions that we do have to ask. So when we call them and we say, ring, ring, Mr. Expired answers, hi, Mr. Expired, this is Ryan over at XYZ Realty, and I saw that your house at 123 Main Street had expired. You know, some of the old scripts were, when are you planning on hiring the right agent to do the job, or something, you know, that's a little bit more of a pushy sales script. Just call them and ask them the question. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Expired over at 123 Main Street, saw that your house had expired and I was just curious. Let's just say your house did sell. Where were you going to go? And then just be quiet and let them talk and get it out of them and just keep asking questions about where they were going to go. And then your close is more based on, great, well, if I can help you get to Fiji, or if I can help you get up north to your grandkids, or if I can help you get to Texas or wherever it is that you want to go in the next 90 days, would that be something that's worth 15 minutes of your time? Next, FSBOs, the for sale by owners, right? They need help now more than ever. While they thought it was easy because they could just put a sign in the yard and throw it on Zillow and get an open house, that is not quite the case now, right? Open houses are not as easy. Traffic is down. And with inventory low, if these people are not getting the exposure, now is the time to really reach out and get on the offense playing with them. So some sites that you can look for these outside of just the standard, Facebook, there's FSBO.com, for sale by owner.com. You can find them on Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and just out and about, right? When we see the signs, we should have something prepared to get after them. They need our help now more than ever. And for most of them, they've already sat 3 months or 4 months without selling. And that's the equivalent of what they would have paid a realtor anyway, based on the carrying costs. So let's revisit the FSBOs now. Remember, there's still a lot of people that are not doing anything. They're still kind of paralyzed from what's been going on, and they're not out working. So inventory is low. FSBO opportunities and expired opportunities are probably better now than they've ever been, and better than they're going to be in the coming months as people start firing up and getting back to work. So let's get on the train of going after those expireds and those FSBOs. All right, database emails. I am not a big fan of mass email personally. However, I know a lot of people are. So some kind of crafty email that I just want you to word and get out there. Anybody in your database, something simple for the title, thought of selling in 2020. And then the key part of the message is, if you felt or if you knew that prices were at the absolute top right now, would you sell? And engage some people and see who you can get out of this. Get some mass emails going out there through whatever program you use, whether it's your brokerages or it's something like a MailChimp or MailJet or any one of those things. People are checking their emails now more than ever because most of them are home and have nothing to do, or they're attached to their phone or their computer with nowhere to go. Personally, our open rates and everything are way up higher than what they're used to be. So definitely attack via email. I'm not saying 25 emails a day, but get an email out there at least once a month. If you're not doing some kind of a newsletter or something to spark your database every month, you're missing out. So key points in this, again, just have you thought of selling in 2020? And if you knew the prices were at the top, would you sell? And when you go in there with data, if you're using the MLS or RPR or Trend Graphics or any of those popular tools for comps and CMAs, what you're going to see is prices are at the top now, right? In most cases, the prices are higher than they were in 2006. If not, they're pretty darn close, or they're basically right there. And people are certainly, unsure of what's going to happen next. We all are, I think. But I think for a lot of people, they're really going to think and feel that right now things are at the top, and it gives them the opportunity to sell for all the reasons we've been talking about. So get in front of them any way you can. Next, divorce attorneys. People have just spent 90 straight days with their spouse or their significant other and realized they don't got time for that anymore. They're not going to be doing that. So befriending and getting in relationship with a divorce attorney right now is definitely something key that you can do. I did a search this morning. I just typed in divorce attorney on Google from where I'm physically sitting right now, which is in Boynton Beach, and over 50 of them came up. Now, of course, some of them are going to have relationships. However, of course, some of them are not. And right now is the opportunity for you to get in front of them and figure out what you can do and how you can work with them to be their realtor of choice, because there are a lot of times that the house is going to need to be sold, right? And a lot of times the individual male or female or partner one or partner two or whoever they may be does not get to make the choice on that, right? A lot of times it has to be a neutral party so that one side doesn't feel like they're getting hustled or hosed on one side of it. And very often that neutral party is a divorce attorney. So if you don't have a relationship in line with one of them yet, now is definitely the time to start building that, because those divorces, I would almost guarantee, are going to go way, way, way up here in the next 3 months or so after being trapped inside for 3 months. All right, your geographic farm. So we have all maybe have a geographic farm now. If we do not, it is definitely time to start one. People are at home now more than ever. They're checking their physical mail more than ever. For some people, that's the highlight of the day, right? Is they get something in the mailbox, they get to go outside, go for a little walk, get something. So are we doing direct mail? Are we door knocking? Are we connecting with them via Facebook, via Instagram, via social media? Are we building lists around them? What are we doing to really focus on a geo farm and make it something that's manageable? So for those of you that have not yet identified a farm or haven't created one yet, I would suggest starting with something small, maybe a little village or a small subdivision that has just 100 or a couple hundred homes, something that's manageable, something that you can door knock in a day, something that you can call through in a day and be able to connect with these people. And at this time, the first call might just be, hey, I'm one of your neighbors, just checking in to see if there's anything we can do to help you. Do you have anybody that's looking for work? Do you guys represent any small businesses that we can support while things are getting going? And just start planting that seed, because the seeds that we plant in these difficult markets are almost never lost, right? When we gain something in a shifting market or in a struggling market, it's ours forever, and right now these are ours for the taking. Over 50% of real estate agents have just not worked through this whole entire pandemic. So there's plenty of room for us to jump in. There's plenty of neighborhoods, plenty of houses for us to get in and get a geographic farm started. Next, open houses. Some of you have been on my classes about virtual open houses, and we certainly appreciate that. If you haven't, make sure you go back and watch it. But in-person open houses are starting to come back, right? Just a week or so ago, they allowed them to start coming back. I'm seeing some of you guys doing them already, and the people that are doing them seem to be having great turnouts because people are just looking to get out of the house, start that relationship, start that conversation. So it's time to fire up the open house engine again. Some of you that have been to my open house classes for the ones in person know that I like to build them up as a big event. We have a red carpet and balloon animals and 50 signs and a whole bunch of crazy things to drive people to that. But think of this as a community event. And as crazy as that might sound, keep in mind that probably 50% of the people haven't been outside of the house, outside of groceries, maybe to pick up some food and some doctor's appointments for the last 90 days. So if they are starting to think about looking for a home, especially with school situations changing pretty much every day and coming up here in the next couple months, real live in-person open houses are going to be fantastic. So let's get those fired back up. Make sure you're following all the social distancing rules, The MLS put out a statement about open houses. FAR, Florida Association of Realtors, did as well, with some guidelines on what you can do and what you can't do and what you should do. So if you haven't got those, check that out. But the people that did open houses this past weekend, I'm hearing some fantastic results from friends of mine and clients of Trident, Performance, and Synergy that are sending us deals that came in from open houses this weekend. So if you have yet to jump back on the open house bandwagon, if you're unsure because of health reasons, I totally get it. But definitely make sure that that's a tool in your repertoire here for the summer. Next, builders. So all of these builders, as they get to the end of their projects, they usually look off-site, right? When they're building a big development or a big project, they try to keep it in-house in the beginning. But when they get to the last of the Mohegans, the ones that are usually housing and harboring all their profit, crazy enough, that's when they decide that they're going to leave it with realtors, right? And take it out of their own hands. So you have to think that as this moves on, a lot of builders have struggled a little bit through this, and some have just keep pushing on. But as they're minimizing staff and trying to condense and consolidate sites, one of the first things that they're looking for is real estate agents that are going to take over the final listings that they have in their communities or in their projects and really be able to have them sell these things and get traffic. And they're relying on the realtors network, their offices, their brokerages, the people that they connect with, and their personal network to sell these homes. So you need to really look at this as an opportunity here. And realize that a lot of these builders are going to be cutting staff and cutting agents, or they already have. So they need real estate agents that are working on commission to sell the remainder of their homes. So if I were you guys, I would take a nice tour and go out and hit every one of these new construction developments, bring them some lunch or some coffee or some donuts or whatever you're into, start a relationship and get them in your pipeline to follow up regularly. And there's certainly going to be some free work and some not so fun stuff in the beginning, but when they get down to those last 1 or 2% of homes in their communities, there's going to be huge opportunities for builders that you guys can take advantage of. Next, home valuations. These tools are always big. They're always powerful. They've been around for years. They kind of died out and they're slowly starting to make a comeback. But think about what you can do to get automated home valuations out there. So there's a bunch of tools that you can pay for things like that if you want. However, also just start helping people. Ads on these are working fantastically. If you're trying to generate seller leads, this is a way to do it, is just getting that free valuation option out there. It works in direct mail. It works in handwritten notes. It works on social media ads. It works on your website. It works on your billboard, anything that you can possibly think of to get home valuations in front of people. Zillow has been using these for years. The reason that they've pushed those Zestimates that we all laugh and joke about is they don't care what your house is worth, right? What did they launch about a year ago? To prove that they don't care what your house is worth, the iBuyer stuff. And all of that started coming out because they said, okay, we can tell you what your house is worth, and then what are you going to do if you want to sell it? You're going to call us, and if you call us, we're going to give you a different valuation, and essentially that's just a listing appointment. So same thing for you. Whenever people are curious about their home values, they're usually thinking of two things. Number one, does it make sense for me to refi, which we can help you with. If you have refis, we have great rates, great deals at Trident, Performance, and Synergy to help you guys with that. And if not, they want to sell, right? And they want to sell those houses, and they want to either move up or move down or rent or get out of the country or get out of the state or whatever it is. So these are things that spark that. So get these home valuations out there, start running ads, doing graphics, getting things out in front of them. Your database, your personal database, how often have you connected with them through the pandemic? I'm going to give it a 100% guarantee that every one of us knows somebody that had something unfortunate happen to them. Or to someone that they know throughout this whole pandemic. And the reality is those people are going to need to sell some houses. And on the flip side of that, we also know someone whose business took off because it was mobile-based or home-based, or they had some really good things happen to them, that this is another opportunity for them to be able to move up, and they're going to need to sell their home. So get in touch with the database, number one, for a care call, number two, for business, and make sure we touch all that before it's too late, guys. If everything starts opening up here in the next 30 days, and gets back to normal, the touches in July and August aren't going to be the same as they are now. So let's get in touch with that database. Next option is join a team, right? There's plenty of teams out there that if you want to be a listing agent and get in more homes and be able to have a higher quality of life, there's plenty of teams out there. A lot of them are even on this call that are looking for listing agents all the time. They have other people that prospect for them and help set appointments, and you just have to learn a presentation, go on an appointment, pitch it, and then bring back documents, and then you're on to your next one. So yes, you're of course going to trade some of your income for that. However, quality of life goes up, and if you're someone that likes to be a pitch man or pitch woman and likes to give presentations, this is a great opportunity for you to get more listings. look at some of the bigger teams in your area and get in touch with them, or connect with me and I'll connect you with some of the teams that I know are constantly hiring. Next is direct mail. We talked a little bit about direct mail earlier, but people are reading their mail and looking at their mail now more than ever. And the postcard companies and everybody's going crazy, and they're so happy because direct mail is kind of making a little bit of a comeback right now. So look into something called EDDM. If you don't know what that is, it's called Every Door Direct Mail. It's a program that the USPS does, and it allows you to mail to all of the homes, all of the residential addresses that are on one postal route at a heavily discounted rate. A lot of your brokerages can actually create the stuff for you and send it out for you where you don't even need to send it out. And we also have some partnerships with printers and designers that can do that. We have a designer that can design those cards and create those things for you, and then printers that can help you get those things out. So if direct mail is still something that you're into, definitely an opportunity there upcoming in the future there. Befriend a flipper. One of my favorite ones, mostly because we love dolphins, but also because this is a great opportunity right now. There's tons of people out there that are just getting out of their house. They're liquidating. They just need to move on. They need to get the heck out. So if you are friendly with a flipper and you are connected with a line of investors, there's a good chance you're going to get commission on the purchase and then again on the resale. And the flip market is still hot here in Palm Beach County. I'm still doing them, and I know a lot of people that are still doing them. So if you haven't connected with a flipper yet, make sure you're doing that. One good way to kind of test the waters on this is to look at things like Craigslist and Facebook and post something up about a house that's all cash and that's looking for offers and things like that, and see who responds. And pretty quickly, you're going to see who your introductory pipeline is for investors. You could then do some kind of a seminar or some kind of a deal pitch where you can give the opportunity to actually be able to send them some really great deals. Oh, just lost the share. You guys there? I don't know what happened to the share. Everybody there?
We're here.
We're here.
The sharing just disappeared. Hang on one second. Let me get it fired back up. Sorry
You broke your laptop.
I must. I hope not. I really hope not. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. Back to Flipper. I just got so excited about Flipper. All right, there we go. Back to Flipper. So yeah, definitely befriending a flipper right now is something that we need to look at opportunity-wise. Next, pre-foreclosure and short sales, right? There's a lot of people that chose voluntarily not to make payments during this, that are doing the forbearance and doing things like that. And some of those are going to start coming to fruition now, right? A lot of people stop making payments in April, and usually after 90 days is where we start seeing some problems with that. So April, May, June, we're there, guys. You can find these things on the tax records, which are great. Even things like Zillow has pre-foreclosure tools, but if you go on the tax records or IMAP, or even the county clerks, you can search for them. The last time I looked, it was over the weekend. I think it was Boynton. I did either Boynton or Lake Worth, and there were 90 new Liz pendants filed just in the past month. So that's 90 listing opportunities. We do short sales at Trident, at Performance, and at Synergy Title. We have some of the best short sale people in the world that work with us. And Paul Krasker, our attorney, has closed literally thousands of them. And some of my personal friends work at these places and do fantastic jobs on the short sales. So huge opportunity coming again with short sales. It still is likely going to be a small percentage of the market, usually less than 5. But if each town is generating 75 to 100 short sale leads per month, they're ripe for the picking. There's some out there. They're a lot of work. They're a lot longer of a timeline, than most traditional deals. But these are deals that people aren't going to. You kind of have to take up the idea that you're going to zig when everybody else is zagging. And the people that are looking for certain deals right now, a lot of people aren't looking in the short sale space. So keep that in mind, and let's start checking on them. Big data. So if you have not been using predictive analytics or big data, these are things that have kind of been sweeping the real estate industry by storm right now. Basically what they do is they help you predict who is going to sell. And instead of you having to door knock or go after 100 sellers, it's going to tell you, look, these are the 20 that are most likely to sell. There's 2 sites that I use pretty regularly on them, and a new one that we actually just brought in as a vendor as well inside of our Fidelity family. So one of them is called Offers. One of them is called SmartZip. And the one that I really like is called Revaluate. And that is an awesome, really unbelievable tool that helps you kind of use data and predictive analytics on your database or on people that you have emails with. It figures out how they act and behave online and helps you predict who's going to buy and sell real estate. So if these are things you're interested in, let me know. I'll get you on a demo or work with you on them. They're pretty cool. Next, Instagram and Facebook polls. If you haven't done one of these yet, this is something we should be doing almost every day. This is an Instagram story. You can do the exact same thing on Facebook. It took me 1 second to make this. You click on your stories and you hit create. There's like 2 little A's. They're different size and different fonts and they look different. You hit create and then one of the options is poll. And you can create this poll and put it out in your story or put it over a video or over music or over a picture. And anybody that answers, you have a lead, right? So if you put, are you ready to sell your house? Are you thinking about selling your house in 2020? If you knew prices were at the top, would you sell now? If you knew I can get you a great deal and use a fantastic title company, would you sell your house now? Anybody that says yes, you have a reason to talk with them. You can even run these things as ads. So there's huge opportunity through Instagram and Facebook polls, really completely free for you to be able to use. And very, very simple to create. Again, these take 2 or 3 seconds to create. If anybody needs help with those or wants to know how to do it, let me know and we'll jump on it one-on-one. Just listed calls. So I'm going to give you a couple calls with a couple of scripts here that if you want to write down or take note of, you can, and then we'll get them sent out in the recording. But what I want you to think is just listed. So every day in Palm Beach County, literally thousands of homes get listed. Now, some of them have the button check that says any broker advertise no. That means you cannot advertise them. You can't work with them. But a lot of them have the button check that says any broker advertise yes, which means they want you to help advertise them and they want you to help sell these houses. So what I would do is, let's say you see a cool listing, maybe in a neighborhood that you farm or an area that you like, or it's just a cool house and you want to work with it, or you want to maybe have the opportunity for an open house, regardless of what brokerage they're in. Give them a call or write them an email and get something in writing that says it's okay for you to advertise their listing. Then you pick the 50 doors or 100 doors or 200 doors all around that listing and you give them a call and you say, hey, it's Ryan McHugh over at XYZ Realty. We just listed your neighbor's house, the Smith's house at 123 Main Street for $450,000. And we were just curious if you know anybody from school or church or work or whatever activity that you think might be interested in moving into the area. Easy call. It's called circle prospecting. Very simple. It's pretty warm. It's not just a straight cold call. You're referencing the neighbor's name so they instantly connect with them as well as the address. But this is an activity that will never end because as long as there's new listings, there's opportunity for you to make these calls. So those of you that like dialing, smiling and dialing and pounding the phones, this is something that you can do every single day for eternity. As long as listings keep coming, you will be able to continue doing this call. Next, price improvement calls. Same exact idea, but when someone improves their price. So you're going to call the same house that you called for the just listed, and you're going to say, hey, Joe Smith, it's Ryan over at XYZ Realty. You probably remember about a week ago I called you because your neighbor, the Smiths, over at 123 Main Street listed their house. And they had listed it at $450,000, but guess what? We just improved the price down to $425,000. And I'm curious, now that it's such a great deal, who do you know that's looking to move into the area? Right? So an easy way to generate some leads there. Also, have you yourself thought about selling if we could get you $425 or $450 or whatever the number is? Easy way to generate there. Again, that's another circle prospecting script. Next, under contract calls, we're going to call the exact same people. So, hey, Joe Smith, yeah, I know you're getting sick of me. It's Ryan again at XYZ Realty. Well, we had called you 2 weeks ago when we listed your neighbor Joe Smith's at 123 Main Street, and then we improved the price. If you remember, it was $450. We got it to $425. Well, guess what? At that price, we got it under contract, which sounds great. However, we have a problem now. We have generated multiple buyers because of our marketing efforts, and we don't have any houses to sell them. So knowing that your neighbor, the Smiths at 123 Main Street, got $425,000 for their house, do you think you would sell if you could get $425,000 for your house? Simple call. Number 4, just sold calls. Same thing. Joe Smith, Ryan, XYZ Realty again. I know you're probably sick of hearing me, but I just want to let you know it worked. We listed your neighbor Joe Smith's at 123 Main Street. We improved the price down to $425,000. Then we threw it under contract, and guess what? It just closed yesterday. And again, that sounds great. However, I just wanted to prove that our results and our methods work. So who do you know that's looking to sell their house now that we know we have a fresh comp at $425 and you live right next door and I saw that you have the same model. So if we can get you $425, would you be willing to sell? Nice and easy calls. So in summary, today we went over 29 different ways for you to attract listings and get listing leads. I expect everybody to put at least one of these into action. No more than 3. Please don't spread yourself too thin. I want one of these things into action as quickly as possible. Couple fun things we have coming up. This Thursday, the 11th, live question and answer with our attorney, Paul Kraska. If you have any questions about title insurance, about settlement, about contracts, addendums, any of that fun stuff, either text it to me, message it to me, or bring it to me, and we'll get those answered live on the air. And you can even come on, talk to him, paint out a situation, and let us know. It's been a really great call. We've been having a lot of fun with it, and a lot of people are getting their issues solved in ways that they couldn't even imagine. Then 1 week from today, on the 15th, fun title, 50 leads in 30 days from the comfort of your chaise, like a chaise lounge. What I want to do is show you a way to generate 50 leads in a month, completely for free, completely from your computer, completely from home. I have a couple of great strategies that some top agents have been using to generate leads for free that I almost guarantee you guys aren't doing. So I want to share those with you next Monday. Please book that on your calendar if you haven't already. As always, this would not be possible without you guys sending us deals. So please keep sending them to Trident Title, Performance Title, and Escrow, and Synergy Title. Learn from us on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook. If you haven't already followed us or liked us or subscribed to us on any of those, just search Apex Training, or you can go on my Facebook and they're attached to mine, so you can find them there at any time. I will see you guys next week, and thank you to KOR Agency for designing all the slides, all of our marketing material. If you guys need any help with marketing stuff, reach out and let us know. I'm going to stop the recording. If anybody has any questions, I'll hang on. Thank you all for being on. Have a fantastic day. Go get some listings.